meeting, we had this conversation internally about iBuyers and how can we work with them, how can we work against them, and someone's like, oh, you gotta talk to Steve about it. Steve knows everything. Steve's so great at this. So they said it just like that. I think it was Jenny Christopherson's one that said it.
Oh.
I don't know, you're sitting right there, so I'm thinking about
putting me in front of all these people.
But the idea is like, look, we know that iBuyers are part of our market. We know that they're going to be here now or maybe forever, and we have a choice either to work with them or to work against them, and we just can't ignore them. We're going to do ourselves a disservice if we ignore them.
Yeah.
So you're very gracious with your time to come in and share today, and so I'm going to stop talking, and you're going to start talking.
Cool. Thanks. Is Jenny here? Was that really you? No. Okay. So I have someone to thank for putting me in front of all these people. So, who has lost a listing to an iBuyer in the last 2 years? Have you felt losing more listings this year or post-COVID? Have you lost more listings after COVID than you did before?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm up to like 19 lost in the last 12 months or so.
More in the last 5 months, even than the last
Yeah.
before that.
Hey, do me a favor. Put your hand up in like an informant L in front of that camera. Look it, that camera's going to follow you now. Now, watch that camera go to you. Put your right hand up.
Which camera are we looking at?
That one underneath the TV.
That one over there?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Raise your right hand.
Oh, wow, that's fancy.
It should turn blue and capture you.
What is that called? What is this thing called?
Technology. A camera.
That's pretty sweet.
Stop following me. I'm just going to stand over here for now. Go ahead, Steve.
Just stand behind him the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, now try to go. Nice. Okay.
Hit the dirt.
Hit the dirt.
So the key is like I've been in this business 10 years. I was a listing agent for a team for 5, and I've always gone after listings. And what we started to see when iBuyers first launched, and we'll go into this. I created this, by the way, this morning. So kudos to me. It looks good. If you guys want this, Canva helped me create it, and it was great. So the key is, like, I believe, and I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I believe that the real estate sales model is changing, and it's changing rapidly. So I would rather change with it than get caught up in it and go out of business. So some people may not agree with my philosophy, but I would argue that the last 2.5 years is evidence that we need to pivot, shift, and change, and there's a lot of consolidation going on. So, everyone knows what an iBuyer is, right? Like, they make an offer on a home. This concept is not new. It's just changing, right? So Opendoor is the company that I really kind of point to, because they were the originator of the iBuyer offer. Zillow only partook in it once Opendoor gained credibility and proved concept that consumers would want this option. So, like, an explanation of it, and sorry, I have to look at my notes. The key is, like, real estate sales between title, and some of these facts aren't super accurate, but title, escrow, lending, it's a $2 trillion industry. It's one of the biggest sectors of the economy. So you can see why companies would want a piece of that, and there's 2 million real estate agents. I think the number for 2019, there was $168 billion in real estate commissions paid out. That's a big number. So even if they got 10% of that, that's a lot of money to be had, right? And there hasn't been a lot of change or disruption in real estate really for 70 years, right? Since the MLS, and the MLS really didn't disrupt anything in terms of the cost to the consumer. And the other key is, like, the consumer still pays maybe like half a point less than they did 30, 40 years ago, yet home values have increased 2, 3, 400x, right? So the commissions have only gotten bigger, right? And so this is just to educate you on, let's say you're newer agents or you don't agree with me. I want to educate you on why I think that this is something that we need to think about. So the key points I wanted to talk about today are, what are iBuyers? what problems do they solve for consumers, the companies that we're competing with, and market stats like what, how much money do they make, right? Like what are we competing against, and then how do I compete against them? This is beautiful. Isn't it so nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to show you how quickly, because again, I have 2 little girls, I have a wife, and I have a lifestyle to maintain, right? So I want to continue to make money in this industry, right? So this is why this is important. Opendoor, I've gone on like 10,000 listing appointments. 5 years ago, this concept was not a thing. Like customers did not say, oh, I have an offer from Opendoor, right? It was like, what can I list my home for, right? And so it was about 24, I would say in our market, I didn't start hearing about Opendoor really until like 2017, 2018. And it was very much like this side thing. The fee at that time was, I think it was like 15%. Their offers were usually like 5 to 10% under market value. So it wasn't really a thing that customers really explored. But the interesting thing has been how quickly from 2017 to today, how it literally has become like synonymous. Almost every seller I go meet knows what Opendoor is, and the scariest part about it is they're validating. It's the new home valuation, really. Like having a home value website will have no value when they can go to Opendoor or Zillow and actually get an offer on their home to validate, okay, so this is a baseline of what my home is going to sell for today, right? I could click this button and I could sell my house today for this number. Now, let me go call a real estate agent to see how much I could really get for my home if I sell it on the open market, right? So that's the scariest proposition to me, is this going to become where sellers go to validate what their home is worth versus a home valuation? Got it? So we'll get into how you combat that later on. But between 2016, really I think Opendoor launched in our market like late 2016 or 2017. 2014 they bought their first home in Phoenix. By 2016 they had purchased 10,000 homes, right? Out there making offers. 1 in 10 gets accepted, meaning if they make 10 offers, the consumer accepts, one consumer will accept the offer. 2019, they launched other verticals, which was buy with Opendoor, title, and mortgage. So buy with Opendoor, if you go download their app right now, and this is why I think we need to pay attention to this. If you download their app right now, your customer can actually go tour any MLS listing with no pressure with showing partners. Opendoor hires and pays them to go open the door for the customer, and that agent doesn't actually talk about that customer about writing an offer at all. They're simply just there to open the door for the customer. They then can, through their portal, submit an offer if they want, right? It's a very pressure-free, seamless thing. That's like 8 months old. So, if your customers are out there downloading these apps, you have to educate them. That's the key. Openly talk about it, or else you risk losing your customer. So the key points there is they're kind of building an integrated experience. If you sell your home to Opendoor, they then can help you buy another home, and they can help you get the mortgage, and they'll close it with their escrow company. That's how they're able to get their fees lower and lower and lower. If they make $5,000 on the real estate side, they make $3,000 on the lender side. There's a lot of margin on the lender side, and then they make another $2,500 on title. They now have made up the real estate commission by lowering the fee to the customer. Does that make sense? I can't do that. We can't do that, right? So it's important to understand how they operate. In 2020, they were buying 3,000 homes per month in 24 markets. So within 2 years, they went from like 6 markets to 24. And I think on their roadmap, they're trying to get in all 50 states within the next 12 to 24 months. Q3, I'm an investor in Opendoor, so I can get all of their updates. So I bought shares of Opendoor just because I believe that concept will work. They now have serviced 100,000 customers. In Q3, they did $1.6 billion in revenue, okay? And they're marching towards getting profitable. They're making about, on average, $30,000 per home sold. So you'll be in these groups where lab coat agents or other agent groups who don't really know what they're talking about or understand this concept where they say, yeah, but they're not making money. Opendoor is not a profitable company because they're in growth mode. This is kind of like the new model of things. It's like, businesses can run without profit for 10 years if the concept is big enough that when they get to the size they need to, they can start adjusting their fees and they become profitable. There's a reason there's a lot of money flowing into real estate right now, because it's a $2 trillion industry that has been the same, unchanged for a long time. Doesn't mean there's not going to be real estate agents in the future, okay? I agree that we're going to have a place. You just need to understand how they operate, okay? So their goal is to get to, I think the stated goal is to get to 25,000 homes closed on by the end of next year, okay? Got it. Cost to the customer. So it used to be the fee. This is kind of educational for you guys so you know how to talk to your customer. Because if the customer brings it up to you and you say, oh, they charge you tons of fees, you're wrong, right? You are wrong. And you're going to lose that business. That's the number one complaint I see or response I see on lab coats or other agent groups where there's a bunch of agents who probably don't sell real estate, they give their opinion. They're,
That's a good quote, by the way. Write that one down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a side. When someone gives you advice, go look at their social media feed and actually validate that they're in a position to give you advice, right? I will take advice from someone who's been places I want to go, not I'm already further than, right? So, ultimately the fee is right now today comparable to a real estate commission, period, okay? The only differentiator is what they're paying for the home, okay? So the fee with Opendoor is 5%. If you don't believe me, go test it on your own house. They'll give you an offer within 24 hours. Super seamless experience, it's so easy. And then the average repair cost is around $4,000, $4,500. And that experience to the consumer is amazing. I can see why they've grown rapidly because all the customer has to do after COVID, it actually escalated how quickly people, how quickly they were buying homes because they changed their model. They used to make an introductory offer. They would then send a person to come out and actually physically inspect the home. Now they do that entirely virtually, right? So they give an introductory offer, the customer accepts it, they do a virtual walkthrough, and then they itemize out the repairs all within their own portal, right? Typical costs run 5 to 7%. So another thing that agents say is like, oh, they're going to hammer you for repairs, right? The offer might be good and the fee might be 5%, but they're going to take tens of thousands of dollars in repairs. Not true. Not true. I've seen many itemized reports from customers as I'm advising them, like, is this a good deal? As I lose my listing, basically. But I still want to be part of it to help them. Because of now, 5 years into this thing, they have massive economy of scale, right? Meaning that when you buy 3,000 homes per quarter or per month, you buy paint and carpet, and they also, one of their largest investors, I think 25%, is Lennar, okay? So when you go look at Opendoor homes, that gray and blue, go look at Lennar homes, and they have the same carpet, same color schemes. When you have an economy of scale like that, you can get things cheaper than I can, right? Even if you're selling 100 homes, it's nowhere in comparison to 30,000, right? And so you need to understand and advise your customer that they will have repairs and they will itemize everything out, but never tell them they're going to get robbed on the repairs, because I found that they don't, right? And again, I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to tell you this is important because I'm going to teach you how to get in between the customer and the iBuyer. Same for Zillow. Zillow's process is a lot more manual. They have a a broker locally who represents them on all of their sales. And so I can tell you that with Zillow's portal, it takes them much longer than Opendoor. I think that they win customers simply because they're Zillow and they have a huge database, and they cross-sell that database daily. Like, go check your Zillow app and it says sell to Zillow, sell to Zillow, sell to Zillow. They're not even talking about buying homes anymore. It's just simply sell your home to Zillow, right? And so it's easy for them to get a lot of customers, but their process is very challenging. The last one I submitted to Zillow had a 1% fee, okay? So they're on a mission to buy homes. So know that. Don't ever tell a customer, Zillow's gonna charge you 12%, right? Because what I found is the customer, if they ever bring it up and you're advising them on this, they probably already have the offer, okay? And so you don't want to say something that then contradicts what they have in their hand, right? They're not gonna tell you about it, but they usually have it. So they're very comparable. Around 5% to sell your home. The only variable is what the offer price is. In the last year, this year especially, that offer price has rapidly changed, right? It used to be 1 to 5% under what we thought it could sell for. Now oftentimes it's over what we think it's gonna sell for. That was when I started to say, okay, I'm gonna go all in on this kind of model where I kind of get myself in between the customer and the iBuyer, and we'll go into that. Other companies are OfferPad, Knock, Easy Knock, Imitation Homes, which is a big investor, institutional investor, and Homeward, which was started by a guy with KW, okay?
Steve,
and then
is Sunday one of these? Or is
Sunday
that
is a wholesaler.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sunday is, I've seen their process. Sunday, and we'll get into they're all lead generation companies, is the best way to explain it. Their unique value proposition is so strong that we'll give you an offer on your home, cash. That's all your sellers want. Sellers want to sell for as much as possible, as fast as possible, and they want that number. Agents usually won't give them that number off the bat, right? Well, I want to come see the house, and I'll give you a range, and if you did this, and if you did that. All they want is the number, right? So these guys have proven there are customers that will take convenience even if it costs them more money. Thousands of them, okay? But Sunday is to explain it to you, because you probably have heard of it, is more of like a wholesale model. They get the customer to reach out to them. They're the lead generation tool for a bunch of investors that then make their offer on that specific address, right? So Sunday does all the advertising, all of the front end, like we'll go tour the home, get the pictures, all of that. And then I believe they have a back end portal where any kind of investor, or even you probably, could sign up, and then they submit deals to the investors, and they charge a fee for that, a wholesale fee, okay? And that's how that works. But Sunday's model is they don't charge a fee to the customer, okay? And so their offers are net offers without a fee. And the brilliant thing that Opendoor did was charge a fee, so their offer prices were higher, right? So think about that. Like, most investors make an offer, including me. If I make an offer to a seller, I take the fee out of it, and the offer price is much lower than what market value is. Their brilliant advantage was that they just built a fee into that offer price. So when the seller sees the offer, they're like, wow, that's a pretty good offer, right? Like, and they don't look at the fees until they started to really dig down in it. And so it's some of the advantages that they have. I'll quickly brush over this. Endless capital, tons of money, hundreds of billions of dollars. Consumer and agents, I think you should really pay attention to this. Dissatisfaction with the existing model, okay? Customers are if you go look online at realtor scores, right? The consumer, not saying you guys are these agents, but the consumer is dissatisfied with how it currently works, right? They're starving for a different way, okay? So that should tell us as agents, we should increase our value proposition to deliver that different way to them, or these guys are gonna do it. Or they're just gonna go hire a bunch of agents to go do it for them. There's an appetite to disrupt. It's one of the only industries left that really hasn't been fully disrupted. And Gary Keller has talked a lot about this. There's going to be agent-enabled technology, right? Or there's going to be, what are the three things that he talks about? Tech-enabled agent or agent-enabled by tech, right? Which would be what these iBuyers are moving towards. I would also challenge you to go look up jobs that these companies post. It's a little, it kind of gives you insight into where they're going. I constantly check. They're building a real estate team, period. Like they're hiring licensed real estate agents, licensed transaction coordinators, licensed admin, and estimators and contractors. They're building a big real estate team. This is what I've done a lot of research on. The customer satisfaction scores are very high. So the customers actually rave about the process, which by then they will refer to their friends, okay? So when we get into how do you combat this, you need to understand that customers are very satisfied with this model. So don't disgrace them when someone brings it up, okay? Because someone probably told them about it, okay? And if we contradict what they were told, we run the risk of losing credibility as a fiduciary, okay? Because I used to do that. Like, I used to do that, and then I lost, probably 50 listings by now over the last 2-3 years. And then the key is, I believe that they're building an off-market marketplace, okay? They have all the customers on their app. All they need is the listings. Soon, they'll be able to sell those listings off MLS, right? Direct to the customer. So Phoenix is what I often look at is, because a lot of agents here will tell me, oh, it's only 1% of the market. That's not true. In Phoenix, they have like 25 to 30% of the market share. Go look on Zillow and just click all the active listings. All of the iBuyers are in Phoenix. We only have 2. But you'll see OfferPad, Zillow, Opendoor. On the little thing, it'll show who owns the property. I challenge you, it's like 1 in 4 listings there is owned by one of these companies, okay? So that's why it's important we need to compete, right? So here's what I have done over the last 2 years to try to combat, this idea. I don't think iBuyers will ever fully, selling their home, the client selling their home to the iBuyer is still only going to be a percentage of the marketplace, okay? I don't believe that it's going to be profitable for them to buy and hold inventory of homes, and that's the new way everyone sells, right? I just think that, gosh, it's going to take billions and trillions of dollars to hold thousands and tens of thousands of homes, okay? So I don't think that this model will take over all sales. What I do believe, though, is it's going to be the new home valuation, and once they have the lead, it's very valuable because they're going to refer that lead to agents or hire those agents onto their staff and give the customer the option to list with us, okay? And they're going to be able to say, we have all these buyers on our app and blah, 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 blah. They'll have the same exact pitch we do. Our marketing is the best, we're the best, we sell hundreds of thousands of homes, and they'll have a listing presentation just like we do. So my goal is communicate about this option. The fastest way you can practice this is to take your database and communicate to them that this is an option. Super hard to do. Put a video out and say, hey, you may have heard of these companies, right, that do this. Well, I know how they all work. I know exactly how much it costs, because oftentimes there are hidden fees until you actually submit for an offer. Contact me before you ever think to put your address in one of these places and get hammered by their salespeople, right? And what I find is that my customers only go to one, and there's many of them. So let me be the aggregator of your offers so you don't have to go and do that. And this is free to you. They pay me if you accept their offer, okay? You want to be the fiduciary in the middle of the transaction. They will pay you a 1% referral fee. But 1% is better than nothing, okay? If I counted how much income I have lost this year, it's in the quarters of $1,000,000, probably 350,000 in lost listings this year. I'm still fine, I still have plenty of money and plenty of business, but I would much prefer to have that $200,000, who wouldn't? Geez. But the key is like, it's just chipping away. I'll just tell you, I've gone on 170 listing appointments this year. I would say that on 125 of them, the customer already had an offer or was wanting to submit their home to get an offer and decided whether listing traditionally was good or wanted to go the offer route. They wanted to explore that option. Like 80-90% of the appointments I go on. And that's not counting the ones that I probably could have gone on an appointment. People in our database that we never really got to meet because they just stopped answering or calling that sold to Opendoor or Zillow, okay? So get in early and just communicate it often. And you wanna play the advisory role. There's a training done by a guy named Kenny Kloss. I have not taken it yet. Elizabeth has taken it before. It's called IREV Pro, and it teaches this model to be the aggregator for your customer and get these offers on their behalf, okay? And I'm moving, I was afraid to all out just communicate to all of my customers this, right? That's like a big shift in concept of, hey, if you want to sell your home for cash, call me first, and yeah.
The only thing I'll say after, because I had a conversation with Opendoor last week, and the only thing I'll say is that they're not going, at this point, today, their market is not going over 900,000.
Yeah.
So they're capping at 900.
It used to be,
But it used to be 600.
It used to be 550.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and it was
pushing
450,
up.
then 550, and then this year it's like 900. They bought a home for 980 in El Dorado Hills, in Governor's Village, 980, and then they bought that customer a new home for no fee, one of my listings, and didn't charge them any money to do that. They actually bought them that home first, and they will hold it. Go Google their website. They will buy customers' homes at no cost for no additional fee and hold it for 121 days, no cost. And then once you cross 121 days, for up to 210, you can pay a per diem for them to keep holding that home for you.
There's a couple companies around the country that are doing that.
Homeward does it, not in California yet, but
No.
I have a feeling Homeward, what's the value proposition when it's a race to who is the consumer's choice for this, right? There's gonna be two companies that do this, two different fees, two different models. There's gonna be all these startups that come and go, right? Just like anything else, Home Depot and Lowe's, right? There's gonna be this race to see who has the best idea. But think about that. The customer can use the app to tour in the MLS, no pressure. When they're ready to buy a home, Opendoor will buy them the home. They don't have to sell their home to Opendoor. It could be a first-time home buyer. They will make a cash offer for customers, no fee, okay? And this is not, I'm not BSing you. I'm actually Opendoor's partner agent in our market, okay? So when the customer clicks, I want to write an offer, they send them to me. There's several of them. They have an online portal. I have a phone call, Zoom meeting with the customer, talk about the offer price, and write an offer. It takes me 20 minutes, basically, and they pay an 18% referral to me. But for 20 minutes of work, a couple $1,000, you're making well over $1,000 an hour. Now imagine if they had an army of real estate agents making $1,000 an hour. I think it'd be easy to find people to do that, right? So this is why it's so important we must compete, okay? And Keller Williams has, we can't build our own iBuyer option. I'm trying currently myself to build the ability to make offers and hold property. I'm closing on 2 homes this month that also explored Opendoor and Zillow offers, but took mine. So I'll report back in 45 days if I lost my shirt or if I can do it, okay? But Keller Williams has an option with Keller Offers. Disclaimer, I've never submitted a home through Keller Offers, but the reason I'm with Keller Williams is because Gary was talking about this 3 years ago, and only Keller Williams has enough money to provide this kind of option to help service our customers. I feel like this is the broker's job, right? Your broker's job is to go out and get these programs, have enough scale of revenue to offer these options to the customer. Talk about it a lot. Talk about it the second someone says, I want to sell my home. You're going to be super scared to say, hey, I have this option where we should explore. The script is, you may have heard these companies called Opendoor and Zillow. We have been seeing their offers are ridiculously high and crazy. I would not be a good fiduciary if I did not tell you about this option, because I've seen some offers come in higher than if I listed the home, went through the rigmarole of showings, okay? I believe we're not true fiduciaries if we're not telling our customer about this. That's a very ethics question. If you get a listing lead that says, I want to sell my house, and you don't tell them about this, and their friend, while you're pending, says, you didn't check on Opendoor how much they would pay, I got XYZ dollars, you're screwed, okay?
Also, if you bring it up before they've done the research, then everyone where I brought it up before they've done the research, I got the listing.
100%.
So
100%.
When I was talking about it beforehand, hey, this might save you some money. Can I check on your behalf?
Yes.
And they're like,
Guess
yeah,
what?
awesome.
No other agent, unless everyone in this room right now is competing with me on a listing appointment, because you guys now have the ammo. No other agent is going to recommend this to them. Okay? And I feel like they're all in breach of their fiduciary obligation. They're protecting their commission. Period. End of story. These offers are crazy sometimes. So, and the customer is going to appreciate you for this. Okay? And you also get to insert yourself in between, and you are the one that goes out and gets these offers. There is no rule that says you can't charge a fee to your customer as well. So you can get 1% referral from Opendoor and Zillow and charge your customer a fee to do that, a negotiation fee, whatever you want, whatever you think is fair.
Zillow's up front tells you that your fee is not in their offer.
Yeah, they'll tell the
They'll
customer
honor
that.
your listing agreement.
Yeah, they'll request your listing agreement. We actually created a form that's an offer authorization that allows us to go get offers on their behalf that we submit to them. But you can charge the customer whatever you want. You can have a listing agreement with the customer, sell the home to Opendoor, collect the 1% referral, charge your customer 1.5% all day. There's no law against that.
But is Zillow paying 1%?
Zillow pays a 1% referral fee, yes, and so does Opendoor. So they're not charging the customer that, okay? It's coming directly from Zillow. And as you refer more deals to them, they're actually incentivizing. You can increase your commission if you are a good lead generator for them, right? They're training agents. So the key is, I have just made the stand to tell the customer right away about this option, and it's working. Meaning, sometimes they they sell their home to Opendoor and Zillow, and sometimes they don't.
Can you still get the referral fee if the customer's already plugged in there?
No.
Got the offer?
No, that's why you need to communicate this as your unique value. Everyone now should be, and I'll just say, if your value proposition is, I can sell your home for the most money in the shortest period of time with the least amount of hassle, which is probably everyone in this office's value proposition, we all have the same value proposition, and it's not enough anymore, okay? Right? It's just not. When you can sell your home to Opendoor, streamline that experience, pick your closing date, they buy your next home for you for free, and they can hold it for you for whenever you want. So we gotta increase the value proposition. And when you're competing, like much of us do, right? Like these customers, when they call you to list or buy, they're interviewing other agents at the same time. And so if these other agents aren't telling them about that, and you do, and say, I can bring you 3 cash offers, you can pick your closing date, you can move whenever you want, you can go buy your next home, right? And no one else is telling them that, you now are unique, okay? So there's a whole process on each website. We've kind of figured out how to do it. You submit your customer to them. They call you, not the customer, okay? Like you're the contact information. They then, usually within 24 to 48 hours, will provide you the preliminary offer. Then if you want to take it a step further, you would do the video tour, okay? Zillow comes out and actually does a in-person tour, and usually they're booked out 2 weeks.
So the one thing that I wasn't able to get clarity from when I talked to Opendoor directly was that that you had to have the listing agreement signed with your people first before you put their information in the portal, and I didn't get clarity that you did.
You do. They want you to have a signed listing agreement, an exclusive listing agreement, but we have submitted with an authorization to obtain offers. So what I'm using it as is before the customer's ready to list with me, I'll tell them, well, let me just go get you some offers real quick, right? And I'll bring you 3 offers, then we can decide if you want to list with me or not, right? So we'll get an authorization signed. It says, I certify Steve LaMothe can go get me offers. That's all he can do. He can't market the home, can't put in MLS. No fee is charged for this, right?
And you still have an agency disclosure signed.
Yes. Ken's right there, so we got to make sure of that. Our value in this instance is
He does now.
most sellers that I've found are either going to sell to Opendoor or Zillow. Very few of them are going to go out and interview several of them to try to get offers. And I'm going to try to speed this up. Let's see. I saw a question. Was there a question?
Yeah, just real quick. You said with the authorization that you put on verbiage that says that there's no fee to them. Then how do you turn around and get that 1.5%?
We would sign a listing agreement at that point. This is very much introductory. I'm going to go bring you offers, and then we can start having a negotiation at that point. It depends on how the customer comes to me. Honestly, I'm just taking the 1% referral. Like, I haven't tried to charge anyone money for it yet. I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of usury, I have other customers that pay my bills, right?
So you're only going to those two, or are you going to like 4 or 5 of those?
There really aren't 4 or 5 of them. There's Opendoor and Zillow, and the rest of them, like Sunday and stuff, don't even compare at all. Like, their Sunday's target market is distressed homes. Opendoor and Zillow are not buying distressed homes. They're buying, hopefully market-ready homes that they can then resell.
So when he's doing 3 offers, he's doing Opendoor, Zillow,
And mine.
Steve LaMothe.
Yeah, and I'm making an offer on the home. Yeah, to keep the customer in my world, right? That's the only reason I'm doing that, okay? And so just bear with me real quick, because I probably hit on this a lot. If they are generating millions of seller leads, okay, think about how much revenue they're losing on all the customers that sold with me last year, right? That had an offer from Opendoor, chose not to, went and listed. What if they captured 50% of those? Like, hey, we'll list your home for 1% like Redfin, but we'll give you an app and, great customer experience, blah, blah, blah. And paid agents $250,000 to go out and take their listings. I'm sure they can find tons of people who want to do that, right? So just think 5 years out with me, right? I envision, mark my words here today, 2 years from now, you'll see Opendoor traditional listings on the market, okay? And so customers will choose either sell iBuyer or list with Opendoor, which they already have. It's also 5%. It's called List with Opendoor. You can see it on their website. It's not in our market yet. In Phoenix, they partner with an agent just like Zillow does, but I envision that will be short-lived. Why give it to some agent that doesn't work for you when you can control the whole experience when they get enough agents? But if you go look at their job postings, you're going to see where they're headed, right? It's all real estate related. Transaction coordinators, Zillow is, I've heard stories from my Max coach that Zillow is hiring operations managers from top KW real estate teams, sniping their real estate talent to then come and build Zillow's real estate team, okay? There's been like 4 or 5 of them. These are like top level, Lance Loken type teams that are losing their staff because Zillow had a relationship with them already, and they leveraged that contact info to a recruiting call. And like, don't underestimate this. People kicked this under the rug 2 years ago, and it's legit, and it's here to stay.
So here's what I would say to that is you might be right,
Yeah.
you might be wrong, but if you ignore it, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, you'll lose business. The key is, like, we're all going to have plenty of opportunity. There's more opportunity than ever before. In fact, I think if you're a production agent right now, we're probably making more money than we've ever made before. Commission compression is not a huge issue, but I would imagine, like, you just need to know about this model because it's no longer just under 450, right? They're making their way into Folsom. They're making their way into Roseville, Rockland. That customer is their target avatar, right? That has to sell and buy another home. So, don't underestimate. If your goal is to get more listings, this is a great tool to help you get more listings. You can market this, right? I market it like crazy. I'll get you 3 offers in 48 hours.
Where do we see Keller Offers fitting into this picture?
I don't know, but I didn't have time to wait.
What do you think, Scott?
I think it's going to be another. I think
It'll be another option.
very, very similar.
So-
But it's going to be boots on. It's going to look similar to Zillow. Meaning
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be a boots on the ground option to do it.
But can I point something out? When you think of toothpaste, everybody yell out 2 brands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Crest and Colgate.
Yeah.
So Opendoor and Zillow. It doesn't matter how many different kinds of toothpaste are out there. The only 2 things that are top of mind are Crest and
To the customer, but we have the customer, right? So there is, and this is, I believe this, that yes, there's this new model, everyone's chasing it, but we have the customer right now, right? Don't forget that. Real estate hasn't changed for 70 years, right? And the agents have the customer right now. Opendoor and Zillow are trying to take the customer from the agent, right? And Gary talks about it a lot, databases and all of that. Every person who bought or sold in the last 30 years is in some agent's database who's not being followed up with properly. Again, go back to the customer experience. 80% of customers say they would use their agent again, but like 90% of them never do because they fell off. Yeah, they didn't do a good job, whatever the case may be. Okay, so you know the key is the customer still wants a fiduciary involved, but don't be afraid to refer these deals. Even if it's 1%, you retain the customer relationship. Okay, because still
As long as you're intentional about it.
definitely. Yeah, I'd rather have the customer, even if I get paid 1%, I'd rather have the customer call me than Opendoor. Then they're going to tell their friends about that experience, right? Say, hey, Steve's got this program where he can do this for you, right? And again, you know, the heavy majority will go traditional. Some of them you're going to take a hit and it'll be less money, but you don't do anything. Literally, if they pay you 1%, your dollar per hour is extremely high, right? Think about this. You might have 45 minutes of work to submit their home to Opendoor or Zillow. If they pay you 1% referral, and let's just say it's $6,000, right? But you spent less than 1 hour doing it. That's $6,000 an hour. I would submit all of my listings to do that. You know, so think about your dollar per hour, honestly. And
So let's do this real fast. We're a little bit over. There's more hands. Let's hang out. If you need a bail because we're over, feel free. Yeah, let's answer a few more things as we go here. What I'll just say one thing is that the fact that you're having this communication up front is getting you at bats that you would otherwise miss. Because I guarantee there's somebody in this room or somebody online right now saying, this doesn't apply to me. My clients love me. My clients would only choose me. The reality is you're missing at bats that you don't even know that you're missing.
Yep.
yeah, don't underestimate the value proposition of what they provide, okay? No matter how much your customer loves you, the value proposition of sell your home, pick your closing date, and move when you want is extremely high for 5%. For 15%, the value proposition was not enough to get customers to do it, okay? They were testing 15, 12, 10, 5. It's like, now it's like right on pace with us, right? And if you're charging 6% as an agent, you're actually higher than the iBuyer option.
So, Kayla, quick.
I have just one quick question. Am I correct that at this point, we're only talking sellers, it doesn't really impact buyers?
Not true, because there's buy with Opendoor, like I had mentioned. Like you go download their app, and you used to only be able to see Opendoor's homes on Opendoor's apps, the ones they own. Now they have a plug direct feed to the MLS, and they just hired showing partners. They pay them $25 an hour.
And they're doing that here?
Yes, there's like 10 of them. Okay? And then when the customer's ready to write an offer, they refer them to an agent partner like me and pay us an 18% referral fee. Okay? To write the offer.
That buyer's agents can do to combat that?
Yes.
Buyer's agent like you are?
Yes. I envision that you just have to increase your value proposition to the customer, meaning like high touch. But I would not hide that because Redfin's been around forever and they've kind of run this same kind of model, except that Opendoor has the whole cash offer thing. And you know, the question I asked my team like a week ago was like, are we being a true fiduciary if our customer is a tough buyer in a competitive market if we don't tell them about this?
So
Like Opendoor will literally write a cash offer at whatever they want.
They're only taking cash offers right now?
No, I mean Opendoor.
Opendoor's only going to make cash offers if they're going to buy.
Yes, so say your customer is $1 million buyer, because this is the exact scenario that happened on one of my listings. $1 million buyer, they have to sell their home first, right? Opendoor will make the offer on the new home in cash and buy the home for the customer, no fee, okay? And then hold that home for 121 days at no cost. Pay all the taxes, insurance, HOA, holding costs. And that customer doesn't have to sell their home to Opendoor. Okay? This is just, they do it for out of the goodness of their heart, right?
Well, it's
insane. It's insane.
They get paid the commission from the seller on the house that they're buying, correct?
They get paid the commission to their agent that they refer it to, yes.
So if it's a 2.5% and you get 18% of that.
As an agent, yeah, and then Opendoor gets their 73% or whatever that is, right? So, but this still doesn't cover their costs, right? Their holding costs.
They're just getting market share.
Yeah, they're just getting people to download the app, and again, they're playing the game of how many customers can we help. It doesn't matter if we make money or not. They want a database in an app that they can cross-sell insurance, title. You know, they're going to start contracting companies, home services, moving companies. Like, there's all kinds of stuff they could do. The key is, like, you just need to tell your customer about it. If you leave here today with anything at all, is believe that they're coming, right? There's a lot of opportunity for companies like this to make. They don't have to make a lot of money per home. The Eric Wu, who is the CEO of Opendoor, has stated publicly that his goal is make the sale process cost $0 to make commissions go away, okay? His goal is to allow customers to seamlessly sell their home for $0 because he makes money on insurance, title, all the ancillary businesses that come with all the transaction stuff that happens, home warranty, they can just make money on all other stuff, right?
So for the iBuyer component, if you have a buyer, let's say, do you put them into the app and that's how you get the 18%? Or how does that work?
No, you have to be an approved agent to get, so all of their customers who want to write offers just get referred out to their approved agents, right? You're like a partner with one of the iBuyers at that point, right? So that's, I mean, I've had that for like 3 years probably. Only now did they start, they would just refer their buyers out for years. Just, hey, this person wants to buy a home. It was a 25% referral to Opendoor. But then they got the bright idea, which I thought was brilliant, honestly, that they just had showing partners, and now the referral flip-flopped. Now they're paying me 18% instead of 75% because they take the customer all the way up until offer ready. Okay? And that's the key. Like with any kind of lead, based on like where they are in the process, like if it's an internet lead, a Facebook lead, that's why they're cheap, because that person could be any stage of cracked out at night, just clicking on buttons, or maybe somewhat interested in 7 years, right? And you have to follow up. But the closer they get to the offer or transaction, the more quality and expensive they become. And the more an agent's gonna reduce what they're willing to take because of the time investment, right?
So if you're a fiduciary though, and you have a buyer that's contingent buyer that's been being
and that is the toughest question I've been posed.
So this is my question. So if we have a buyer for $1 million, but they're contingent upon the sale of their home, I know I can sell their home within 120 days. Do I tell them?
That is up to you. I have not started yet because I feel like we would lose all buyers.
Yeah.
This is what makes me not nervous, because I'll be fine, right? But this drive this home, because there's many newer agents here. Like what she just said should resonate with you, okay? The fact that someone can go into there, they gotta be pretty savvy and like do-it-yourselfers, right? But it's a pretty slick experience. The fact that I know this option could help the consumer, but are we willing to tell them about it because we lose our opportunity to help them, right, is a very challenging question, but the fact that that's even there is, I've watched that program because it's been around for 4 months now, blow up. I would get 1 or 2 offer requests per week. Now I get like 6 a day, okay? If I'm making an average of $2,000 per offer request and I'm getting 6 per day, half of them go under contract. I mean, I did the math. I could probably make $200,000-300,000 a year just doing that, because there's so many people that are doing it. Okay.
Let's wrap up with 2 last questions.
So it almost seems like if you become a showing partner, that's also an opportunity to get more leads that are, is there some kind of an issue in terms of being a Keller Williams agent where you're also a showing partner and now, these people are kind of trusting you?
Yeah.
Because
I am not a showing partner for Opendoor. Like, those people are, I think the best way to explain it is they Uberize, because I called one of them and said, hey, how much do they pay you? We use showing partners on our team, so I was just trying to figure out how it worked.
Right.
And very much what was explained to me was they make $25 an hour, it's 1099, they're independent contractors, but it's Uberized. So when, and just like their offer requests that we get as partner agents, it's very slick. It's all integrated into a dashboard, and they're a technology company, so they can build this stuff fast, right? So these showing partners probably get a request, and whoever accepts it first gets to work that day, right? So
And my guess is, knowing as smart as they are, they own that lead. Right? You're not going to be able to take that lead and show them another house or try to do something else with them.
But if they want to work with you at some point, they can.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think you're
They would go to one of their showing, one of their listings.
If you're working as a showing partner, that's your job.
That's your job.
Okay, and this is what I'm getting at. There's going to be tech-enabled agents, independent contractors, like Gary says, or agents enabled by tech. Right? You work for the tech company, and the technology company enables you to help customers. Right? Just like a Redfin agent. There's no right or wrong, right? It's either you're an entrepreneur and you compete, or you go work for one and make a good income probably, but that's not me.
The
right?
compensation varies.
Now, from that 1% that we would get like on a referral, does Keller Williams still get some of that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like if you submitted your customer to Opendoor or Zillow and they paid you a 1% referral fee, yes. Yeah, your cap applies and all of that. It's either that or zero, right?
Right.
Again, the whole key with this is like I'm trying to help you guys communicate this and not be afraid to communicate this out to your database. Because learn through my failure, okay? I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars by not communicating this up front, where if I did, I at least would have retained the customer and I probably would have gotten a referral out of it, And so it's the real deal. Now, someday, soon probably, they're not going to pay as much money for homes. It's going to get more expensive to do this, right? The market's not going to be so certain. The only reason they're paying so much is they're certain they're going to sell the home, right? But in a normal world, 30% of homes don't sell, they withdraw, they expire. This model will change, but it will still be here. Sellers will still, even in that instance, sellers want certainty more, right? So they'll take an offer even if it costs more money because they know they're going to sell at a certain price, right? Whereas if the market takes 90 days to sell your home with several price reductions, so this model's not going to win.
And it was here before this.
Yeah, most definitely.
So
yeah.
it will still be here to some extent. So Logan, one last thing and I'll wrap this.
Yeah, so you were talking kind of about how the buyer side and that's kind of a struggle. Just so you guys know, I know Movement's in talks with several companies. They're trying to come out here to California. They're doing it in other places to come alongside traditional real estate and offer a competition to Opendoor, where companies are offering cash prices, are offering to buy the property cash, close within 15, 20 days. And then us as a lender, we can come inside. And if we close before, or we're ready to close before they do, they just step aside and be closed. But you were able to submit a cash offer.
Yeah.
And then if like on FHA, you have to wait that 90 days. That's why Opendoor's waiting that 120 days. They're holding it, so they're outside of that flip window, so they can still close FHA loans on their transactions. There are companies that are trying to do this to come alongside you guys and provide that support. So as soon as those programs are eligible here in California, I promise you Tim and I will be talking about it. But we are very aware of kind of what's going on.
Yeah, Homeward is that company, one of those companies, and they were the first, because they're going about it the opposite route. Rather than buy the home, they're buying the next home first, guaranteeing a certain price for your home, working with agents rather than the technology trying to disrupt realtors, right? So the key is, and we offer that value proposition to our buyers. I openly say we'll back your offer with cash and we'll close in the event you can't close on time. The key is like you need these because there are other people who can do them. And if you don't, your value proposition is marginalized, right? So that doesn't mean that you still can't get business, but I think I think that as agents, we should be looking for ways to increase our value proposition. Market it out there that Keller Williams provides offers, right? Because they do. The Ready to Sell program, I've been doing that for like 2 years myself with my own money, and it's a huge value proposition. And so now you can help them renovate their house before they sell, right? Or you can help them get an offer, or you can help them list traditionally, right? So you need to give yourself options to the customer, and you are the one that can help them do all of these things,
Yep.
right? That's the key, or else
You're
you'll
still
lose
the
customers.
professional to hold their hand through that.
For sure.
If you don't talk to them about it, they're going to talk to somebody else about it.
Yes, and that's the key. You know, when you're communicating to everyone, you are the fiduciary to help make sure, if they, you know, to make sure that they're exploring all options, not just falling into some mousetrap with one iBuyer, making sure that you help them explore all of the available options to put the most money in their pocket, or give them a convenient approach to selling quickly or whatever they want, you know? So that's the key.
So thank you, Steve. And I'm sure there's more questions. This is a great for whether you're in the launch program or you're in special forces right now or bold or just around the office. Like, this is a great topic to mastermind around. Like, how can I now? What's my message look like? If I was going to put up a Facebook post around this information, what would that look like? If I was going to add something to my listing presentation, if I was going to do a mail out to my database, if I was going to send a newsletter out, what would that messaging look like such that you can get some of these at bats? So it's nothing to be as scared of necessarily, but it is something to be aware of going forward. If you're not already participating here, don't miss this opportunity to get educated and then be able to offer these options to your clients. And then ask Steve questions outside of here too if you need to. So just a quick reminder, I know there's Lauren, we're going to really quick talk about Mega Camp right after this. So if you're interested in if you're already signed up and want to know more, if you're thinking about signing up and want to find out why you want to sign up, hang out right now for about 15 minutes. Thanks, buddy.
Cool.
Bye.
Yeah, good.